So, after learning the meaning of education, meaning of guidance, and the characteristics of the guidance, today we are going to discuss basic assumptions and the principles of the guidance. Students, you are well aware we are learning a very important paper, and that paper is the guidance and the counseling. This is the lecture number 2. In this lecture, we will try to understand the basic assumptions of the guidance and the principles of the guidance, which are very important, or all activities and all the procedural aspects are basically related to that. Let me introduce the topic here. Guidance assumes the inherent goodness and potential of every individual. We consider every individual is good by nature and he or she is having the potential. And this potentiality has a capacity for growth and their right to make choices. So they have the potential, and this potentialities has a capacity to grow, and they have the right to make their choices also. This is the assumptions of the guidance, because we talk about the democratic principles here, and democracy believes in inherent goodness of the individual and potentialities of each and every student, and this capacity this capacity grows on regular basis in a harmonious manner and in a progressive manner, and students have the right to make their own choices. It also acknowledges the uniqueness of each person and their potential for self-actualization, emphasizing respect for their autonomy and freedom. Means self-actualization, highest potential in the individual life. This is self-actualization. If a person is having the IQ level of 120, then he or she must be able to achieve up to that limit, or according to that IQ level. Otherwise, he will be a underachievers. This is related to the self-actualization. Now, there are certain basic assumptions, and I will elaborate these basic assumptions. Number 1 is inherent goodness and dignity of the individual. Guidance operates on the belief that every individual possesses intrinsic worth and capacity for growth and self-improvement. Every individual improves even if he or she is not in academic institutions, not enrolled in any classes. On the basis of informal experiences, in day-to-day experiences in the social life, he or she is in the position of the self-improvement by getting maturity in his or her life. It emphasizes respect and empathy, creating a supportive environment where individuals feel valued and capable of positive change. It basically provides the opportunity for the individual where their respect and dignity is given significance, and they are capable of making the positive changes as a result of that. Capacity for growth and development. Every individual, whatsoever capacity, whatsoever abilities and potentialities he or she is having, they have the capacity for the growth and the development. Guidance recognizes that people are capable of learning, adapting, and growing throughout their lives. So they are capable of the learning, they learn on daily basis, they adapt in different situations and growing throughout their life, and they are growing in many aspects. So this is basically the assumptions related to the individual, and the boundaries of the this sometimes gives the boundaries of the guidance. We assume about the capacity for growth and the development of the individual. It focuses on helping individuals discover and develop their potentials rather than simply fixing problems. Guidance doesn't assume that we are here trying to solve the problem. Rather, we are developing our potential. and capacity to solve the problem. That is related to the second assumption, capacity for growth and the development. Freedom of choice and power of decision making. Every individual must be given freedom to choose their career, to choose their courses. And he should be given the freedom to make decision, power of decision. Freedom to of choice and power of the decision. Guidance supports the idea that individuals are active agents in their own lives. They are not the passive. They are capable of making informed decisions. If they are provided information, then definitely they will use that information for better decisions when provided with necessary information and support. It empowers individual to explore options, weigh consequences when we are getting the information or students are getting the information. Many options are coming in their way. On the basis of their abilities and the capabilities, now they are weighing the consequences of each and every actions and finally taking the decisions, making their own choices, and these choices are aligned with their values and the goals which they have set in their life. So this is the second aspect. Fourth aspect is uniqueness of each individual. Every individual is unique and no two individuals are alike in this world. Even the twins are not alike with each other in so many characteristic features. If every individual is unique, definitely we have to plan guidance and counseling services for them on separate basis or individualized basis. Guidance acknowledges that each person is unique with diverse experiences, backgrounds, needs, and learning styles. It emphasizes personalized support and tailored approaches to address the specific circumstances and goals of each individual. No philosophy or no procedure or no technique can be applicable for all the individual. Definitely there will be certain problems which will be common in nature that can be supported in a group, but every individual being unique, having their own potential, having their own abilities which are quite different from others. Therefore, it is essential then we plan our strategies to provide guidance and counseling in an individualized program method. Potential for self-actualization. Self-actualization potential is very much inherent. It is inherent part of every individual personality. And guidance recognizes the human drive to realize one's full potential and supports individual in identifying and pursuing meaningful goals in all aspects of the life. Self-actualization. Highest potential of the individual. Achievement, highest achievement in his or her life. That is basically this potential has to be utilized by giving expert advice to our student, by providing many information related to the individual personality, related to the goals, related to the personality aspects, and related to the opportunities available in the environment and making correlation between them. It helps individuals overcome obstacles and develop the skills needed to achieve personal and professional fulfillment. Our personal fulfillment, what we are doing in our life, we are receiving education, we want personal satisfaction, we want to achieve personal goals, and we want to be professionally satisfied in different occupation, whatever occupations we are selecting. So it helps individual overcome obstacles and develop the skills needed to achieve personal and professional fulfillment. Importance of self-awareness. Self-awareness is very much needed. Guidance emphasizes the need for individuals to understand their own strengths, weaknesses, interests, values, and emotions. If the person is not aware about himself or herself, then what kind of decisions he or she will take in his or her life, and how much he will be successful in getting their decisions and achieving their target in the life. It is not possible until and unless person is aware about himself, his strength and the weaknesses. Self-awareness forms the foundation for making informed decisions, building healthy relationship, and pursuing fulfilling career paths. If I know myself, my interest, my abilities, my capabilities, and I am well aware about the type of occupations in which I want to go, then I will be more comfortable in making our adjustment possible in that area. So self-awareness is the six assumptions of guidance. Interplay of self and social context. We are an individual. We are also a member of the society. We live in the society, interact with the members of the society. So our personality is basically an interplay of self and the social context. And guidance recognizes that individuals are influenced by their social and cultural environments, including family expectations, peer pressure, and societal norms. This is the most important problem facing our students in today's life. Their decisions are not based on their own abilities and the capabilities. Rather, their decisions are influenced by their family expectations, peer pressures, and societal norms. Socially, status. So some professions are given social status, and everybody is inclined to go in that direction, ignoring their self, ignoring their characteristic features. So this interplay of self and the social context is very important assumptions of guidance and counseling. It acknowledges the impact of these factors on individual choices and seeks to help individuals navigate them effectively. Now we are coming to the principles of the guidance. Guidance cannot be acceptable unless it supports the basic concept of democracy, a belief in the integrity and supreme worth of the individual. Democracy calls for the dignity and respect of each and every individual. And that individuality, that freedom to take decision must be given respect. This is the basic principle of the guidance. It cannot be logical if unless it sees each individual as unique and with capacities and needs unlike any other person. Logical guidance can be possible if we know this principle of individual differences. If you are aware of the significance of the individual differences, significance of their integrity, significance of their dignity and respect, then definitely we will take the measures which are suited for the development of the individual. It cannot be reasonable unless it visualizes the promotion of society's welfare through individual adjustment. We provide education to the students. Students is an individual. We develop their potentials and he becomes a member of the society. Until unless the person is able to think about the welfare of the society, he will not be a responsible member of the society or fruitful member of the society. Individuals constitute the society, therefore their positive contribution as a civilized person is highly important. There are certain principles and I will discuss in detail all these principles. Number one is total development of the individual. Second is principle of individual differences. Guidance is a continuous process. Guidance is essential for all. Guidance should be imparted by the experts. Proper tools and adequate facilities are essential. Guidance is based on shared responsibilities. Guidance is concerned with proper adjustment. Guidance approach is flexible. And the number 10, proper evaluation of the guidance. Now we will discuss about these aspects. Let us analyze the total development of the individual. There are many facets of the individual personality. His cognitive aspect is there, affective aspect is there, and psychomotor aspect is there. In other words, we can say intellectual development, social development, economic development, emotional development, and psychological development, aesthetic development, spiritual development. Many areas are considered about the individual personality, and guidance, the basic principle of the guidance is that a guidance is not confined to only cognitive development or affective development or development of the personality only, rather it is the total development of the individual personality. Guidance is not confined to any particular aspects of the student's personality, rather it renders assistance in developing the total personality. He must be able to use his intellectual abilities. He must be able to develop the social skills needed to survive in the society. He must demonstrate empathetic attitude so that he can sense the problems of the members of the society. He must be innovative or creative, or his creativity or innovations must be developed so that he or she may be given opportunity to nurture that creativity and become a productive member of the society. So total development of the individual is highly important. Second principle is individual differences. As we discussed in previous lecture also, the basic principle of the guidance is that every individual is unique in regard to their interest. Their interests are different, their abilities are different, their capacities are different, and their temperaments are different, and other personality traits. They may be extrovert, they may be introvert, they may be ambivert. They can have the high aspiration level, they can have the low aspiration level, they may suffer from inferiority complex, they may be in high anxiety, high stress, and low motivation level. So these individual differences are quite apparent. It is not possible for the teacher to understand and do the justice with all kinds of the student. That is why guidance, the significance of the guidance is mentioned at the school level. So this is the principle which is very important, principle of individual differences. So if individual differences are there, it means the needs and the requirements of individual significantly differ from each other. They should be given priority. They should be given opportunity to develop in them in order to become a well-adjusted member. Guidance is a continuous process. Guidance is a continuous process. It's not confined to any particular activity or event. We have given a guidance to solve any particular problem. No. It is viewed as a continuous process. That is continuous from the time of the pupil's entry in the educational system and throughout the child's formal education. If the child is entering in any educational institution, then guidance opportunities, being an integral part of the institution, must be available to assist the child on regular basis. It is not a one-time event. You have given guidance on educational aspect and ignoring the high stress, high anxiety related to the examination, related to the teaching learning process, and related to the unsocial behaviors. We have to on continuous basis find out the difficulties of the student and resolve those difficulties. Guidance is essential for all. There is a general impression among the masses that only children with serious problems are in need of the guidance services. It is a wrong impression. It is a false impression. Every individual, irrespective of abilities and the capabilities of the disabilities, need guidance. Guidance is needed for every individual. It is needed for the creative and the intelligent people also. Because our classroom in our educational institution does not satisfy the intellectual urges of the creative students and the gifted students. We generally teach to our students at average IQ level. So we are basically neglecting our students who are having the high IQ level, and definitely we are sometimes neglecting the students who are slow learners. We need to take this point very much clear in our mind, because it is the very important principle of the guidance, very important principle of guidance, that is, it is essential for all. It is a service meant for the welfare of every individual student, irrespective of his abilities, aptitude, gender, family background, and physical status. These factors, because these factors also influence the personality of the students. Guidance should be imparted by the experts. There is a general impression among the masses that guidance can be provided by every individual. It is a false impression again. Guidance is a specialized activity, means specially trained persons are needed to perform the guidance task. It is not an activity which is performed by any senior or any teacher who is working in any educational institution. It is a specialized activity which cannot be imparted by everyone associated with the students in school conditions. Even the teachers in many occasions are not professionally trained to provide guidance to the students. It is a message to the teachers that they should understand their limitations. They should realize this principle that professional guidance is more important rather than providing the general kinds of the guidance. These general kinds of the guidance can be dangerous, can lead to the person in an area where he can spoil or she can spoil his or her life. She will not be able to take better decisions in her life. So teachers are also expected to understand this in their mind, that they are not specialized for every sort of the guidance. If they want to engage in the guidance process, then definitely they have to get the adequate knowledge of the field as well as the supervised training or practical training in that aspect. Only then they will be considered as the experts of that field. Although the many experts believe in the fact that they are semi-professional and should understand their limitations. So teachers should not take each and every problem of the student. More importantly, those problems which falls in the domain of counseling. As far as the general guidance is concerned, teachers are supposed to be the best person to provide the guidance, because they are living with the student, interacting with the student, and having many things clear about the students' positives and the negatives based on their regular observations. So this principle is also very important. In order to render guidance and counseling, certain professional competencies are required. I talked about adequate training, appropriate knowledge, experiences, and needed personality traits which suits to become a very proficient counselor are essential on the part of the counselor. Proper tools and adequate facilities are essential. Pupil appraisal is vital for success of any guidance program. Testing and non-testing devices are needed for accurate and comprehensive evaluation of personality characteristics of the individuals for the purpose of effective guidance. Proper tools and adequate facilities are essential. Until and unless we know the personality characteristic features of the student, we will not be able to provide guidance to the students. And there are many tests. These tests are psychological test, standardized and non-standardized test, teacher-made test. There are many inventories. There are many anecdotes. We will also study in later stages of our course development. Okay, what are those tools? What are the facilities which are needed for providing the guidance in our school? The tools must be available with the teachers, with the counselors in every educational institution, so that they can use the tools and they can find out the characteristic features of the students. And adequate facilities are also needed in the schools. There must be a team of experts available in the schools. There must be a proper place for that. And the support and coordination and cooperation of all the teachers and all the technical staff and non-technical staff, teaching staff and non-teaching staff, as well as the administrator, is very important. Guidance is based on shared responsibilities. Guidance is not a task which can be given by the teachers or the guidance counselor. Although major obligations are assumed by guidance personnel, but other stakeholders, which include teachers, administrators, non-teaching staff, parents and students, have a great responsibility towards various aspects of entire guidance program. Shared responsibility. No guidance counselor, even if he is a well-trained person, even if he or she is having a vast knowledge of the area, will not be able to provide guidance to the students without seeking the cooperation of the others. He has to depend on the cooperation of the parents, because most of the informations are provided by the parents. Teachers who are directly involved in the teaching learning process on regular basis, they are in a position to share their very important information related to the student. So any plan which we are going to implement in school conditions cannot be implemented without seeking the cooperation of all the people. Every member of the society is also responsible for that in a positive and the negative manner. Support of the society is also very important. Support of the community member is also very important, because their attitude must be positive. Their philosophy must be positive about the guidance. They should know that guidance is basically an assistance. It is not anything which is imposing on the students. Guidance is concerned with the proper adjustment. The ultimate objective of the guidance is basically proper adjustment. The basic principle of the guidance is proper adjustment. The ultimate objective of the guidance to provide satisfactory adjustment to the individual in various aspects of her life. He has to enter in the family. He must have positive relations with the family member. He or she is interacting with the classmate. Must enjoy good respect and regard in the classroom. He should be able to adjust or adapt to the various situations, because there are many aspects, curricular and co-curricular aspects, which are involved in the school programs, in the teaching learning process, and we have to be very careful about that. If students are able to select their courses as per their interest and ability, they are expected to perform in better manner and achieve up to their potential. There are so many people who have joined any profession because they could not select the course as per their abilities and the capabilities and the interests. That is why they face difficulty throughout their career, and they never get satisfaction in their life. The proper adjustment to the courses, proper adjustment to the educational institutional environment, proper adjustment to the development of occupational aspect, and proper adjustment to the opportunities available in the society is very important. And this is another important principle. Guidance is concerned with the proper adjustment. Guidance chiefly concerns with physical and mental health of the student and ensures healthy adjustment. So physical aspect is also very important, and mental health aspect is also very important, because if we are mentally inferior, then definitely we will be more anxious, more stressful, and more frustration ridden. So we should be mentally, students should be mentally healthy or mentally strong. Healthy adjustment with peers, family members, teachers, school environment, social and vocational life. Another principle is guidance approach is flexible. Rapid changes are taking place in the society in almost all the areas. We can see the changes which are taking place in the educational areas. Our social life is also changing at a very fast pace. Vocational areas are also changing, and occupational spheres are also changing. We cannot be rigid, or we have to be very dynamic in providing the guidance. We need to make changes. Whatever guidance and counseling we are giving to the student today may not be suited to the next year students, because they come with their own problems, with their own and with their own difficulties and with their own challenges, with new courses and new areas are emerging on day-to-day basis. In 2 years back, there was no concept of artificial intelligence. Now we are living in an era where artificial intelligence is being used by our student. So our strategy has to make changes accordingly. It is therefore essential that guidance approach is dynamic in nature, and it must be flexible to address to the problems of the student. Proper evaluation of guidance program is also very important, because whatever guidance program is a systematic and purposeful activity designed to achieve a stipulated objective. Guidance is to achieve basically certain objective. Then it is one of the important principle that we need to evaluate to what extent we are able to achieve the objectives of the guidance. The success of any program, because the success of any program is judged by analyzing to what extent it is able to achieve the objectives. The guidance program should be evaluated on regular basis by guidance counselor to find out the strength and weaknesses of the program, and he should discuss these shortcomings of the guidance program with the principal of the institution or head of the institution and make necessary amendment, because it is a continuous process. We are applying the principles of the guidance, we are providing opportunities for the guidance to the student. Even if we are facing some difficulties at certain area, then we will be able to modify it. So evaluation is not only providing you the opportunity to analyze the objective which you want to achieve, rather it is also providing a feedback so that you can improve upon the weaknesses and do the best to achieve further objective. So the purpose of evaluation is to make it more efficient and effective to realize the ultimate objectives of education, that is to develop individual in all aspects. Let me conclude my lecture here. An ultimate goal of guidance program is better pupil self-understanding, from which greater self-fulfillment is realized. We need to understand ourselves in a better manner so that we are able to use the talents for the better opportunities, for the better adjustment. This definitely will lead to the self-fulfillment on our part. Counselor should possess the thorough knowledge of the basic assumptions and principles of guidance in order to achieve the stipulated goals. So this must be understood by the counselor, whosoever working with the student in resolving their problem, providing assistance to the student, assistance to the teachers, assistance to the parent. Okay, what are the basic assumptions and what are the basic principles? Because these are the guiding principles, and if we will follow these guiding principles, then we will be able to use guidance facilities in a more proficient manner, more effective manner, and we will be able to achieve the objectives of the guidance in a better manner for the benefit of the student and for the benefit of the entire educational structure. Thank you very much for hearing to this.